Should they have access to good science about healthy food? Absolutely. Well, then, how is that going to happen with the Medicaid cuts that are taking place? There are no cuts to Medicaid. Sir, that is an absurd.
Obviously, it's a terrible lie, but RFK Jr. has no choice. He has to destroy the healthcare system or Ursula won't give him his voice back. Love it or leave it. Let's get into it. What a week! Over the Labor Day holiday, the internet was abuzz with rumors that Donald Trump had died or had been hospitalized after he took a multi-day break from public appearances. The whole thing was a little silly. It's Labor Day, not Christmas. The rumors were partly fueled by the mysterious bruising on Trump's hand, which had been visible in photos for months and which Trump's doctors attributed to frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin. And okay, he's a 79-year-old man. That's at least vaguely plausible. But you have to admit it was weird for J.D. Vance to spend the weekend talking about how being buried alive in a pyramid subterranean chamber facing your boss's tomb is what makes America the greatest country on earth. It also didn't help when on Sunday, Trump wrote on social media, "Never felt better in my life," which in all of human history has never been said without being defensive. Nobody who's never felt better in their life says it. They're wakeboarding with their second husband or hitting the orgy tent at Burning Man. The only people who shout, "Never felt better in my life," are elderly widowers demanding their car keys back from a deeply empathetic son-in-law, or lapsed alcoholics making a scene at their nephew's confirmation. But on Tuesday, Trump was alive and hotter than ever. He laughed off the rumors.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him.
Yeah. It was a nice change of pace to speculate about why an ancient, decrepit Republican president was mysteriously absent from the public eye. It was refreshing, like that nap Joe Biden took during the debate. But there was something revealing about this. No one trusts this White House to tell the truth about the president's health. And it's totally plausible that they'd cover up for his decline. After all, if it's easy enough for a Democrat to pull off, Republicans have got to be twice as good at it. Biden's allies had to spend time and energy on the mental gymnastics to convince themselves they were doing the right thing, whereas Trump's allies can go straight to the part where they paint eyes on his closed eyelids. Trump was also asked about the viral video of bags being tossed out of the White House window that somehow fed speculation about his absence, and here's what he said.
No, that's probably AI generated. They're all heavily armored and bulletproof. Number one, they're sealed, and number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up.
But the video definitely wasn't AI. Those windows had the exact right number of boobs. And the White House had already confirmed that the video was real, saying in a statement that it was a contractor doing regular maintenance while the president was gone. Just that usual standard bi-monthly toilet replacement. But look, maybe AI has some upside.
And one of the problems we have with AI, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, you know, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI.
First of all, you can't blame AI and then joke about how you can just blame whatever you want on AI in the same press conference. Second, I do feel like this is his way of telling us that there's a photo of him kissing Jeffrey Epstein on the lips. Speaking of technologies unraveling our society, on Monday, the Trump family's cryptocurrency venture called World Liberty Financial launched trading of its token on public markets, adding as much as $5 billion to the Trump family's net worth on its first day of trading. But are they happy? The company's CEO is Zach Witkoff, who is the son of Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, and who has met with multiple foreign leaders involved in negotiations with the Trump administration. This is the only kind of father-son bonding that these people understand. What did the Pakistani prime minister say is their version of, boy, can that Otani pitch? Is that literally, I was like, that didn't work when we were doing the run through. And I'm realizing that's not universal. That's my father. And that's fine. But that's just one example of the many ways in which this enterprise is perhaps the most brazen act of corruption in American history. For example, world liberty has been propped up by crypto billionaire Justin Sun. What's his deal? Funny story. The SEC charged Sun with security fraud in 2023. And according to the Treasury Department at the time, his network, Tron, had increasingly become the go-to platform for criminals. One outside research firm found that half of all illegal crypto activity was taking place using the service. The Wall Street Journal reported that Sun was so worried about being arrested if he entered the United States, he missed a flight on one of Jeff Bezos' rockets, even though he had paid $28 million for the ticket. And Blue Origin has a strict no refunds policy, which is why all those women were on that flight, even after that witch told Laura Sanchez she would die in space. Then Trump wins the election. You may have actually heard about Sun around this time because of an unrelated but also dystopian story. Remember when somebody paid $6.2 million at auction for a banana duct taped to a wall and then ate it at a press conference?
Billionaire Justin Sun kept his promise to eat the very pricey fruit, which he did.
Justin Sun is the person that ate that fucking banana. And thank God, because I was actually scratching my ear when I accidentally bid 6.1. Crazy. That wasn't Sun's only splashy spend in that period. In the week between buying and eating the banana, which, and I looked into this while figuring out the timeline, because I saw that he had bought the banana duct tape thing. It's a piece of art called Comedian on a Wednesday, and then he wanted to eat it the following Friday. I was like, what are we doing here? That's a bad banana. And so like, what is he actually buying when he buys a $6.2 million banana duct tape to a wall? Guess what? You're not even getting a banana. You get a roll of duct tape and instructions for how to attach a banana you provide to a wall of your choosing. That's what he bought. So when he eats the banana, earlier, someone followed the instructions and attached a new banana to the wall that he took down and ate. But between the buying and the eating, Sun bought $30 million worth of World Liberty financial tokens, the majority of tokens that had been purchased at the time. In January, Sun increased his position. In February, the SEC, now controlled by Trump, paused their investigation into Sun. Coincidence? No. By May, Sun also became the largest holder of Trump's meme coin. He even attended Trump's crypto gala, which means he went from being a target for arrest under one administration to a VIP guest of the following administration. And when Trump slid that glass slipper onto his dainty foot, oh, I knew we were in trouble. In July, in a deal brokered by a company with ties to the Trump family, Tron became publicly traded. And now, backed by Sun and enmeshed in Tron's ecosystem, World Liberty Financial has increased the Trump family's net worth by billions. But are they happy? Yeah, it seems like they are. Money is the one thing they care about. But now let's turn from conflicts of interest to interesting conflicts.
Love It or Leave It is brought to you by Bombas. Follow us here. Kids are back in school. Vacations are over. All right. Okay. It's officially the start of cozy season, which means it's time to slide into some Bombas. You know Bombas, the most comfortable socks and slippers made from premium materials that actually make sense for this time of year. Bombas are made from the softest materials. Think merino wool that keeps you warm when it's chilly, but cool when it's hot. Supima cotton that's softer, stronger, and more breathable than regular cotton. And even rag wool, the thick, durable, classic, cozy sock you'll want all fall. And it's not just socks. Bombas designed slippers that make it hard to leave the house. From Sherpa-lined Sunday slippers to packing-friendly gripper slippers and even waterproof Eva Friday slides. I love the slides. I wear them all the time. They're my go-to Pilates shoes because I can just throw them on, you know, and then try to signal to the women in the Pilates class that I'm gay. So it's fine that I'm here. You know, that I'm not just some bro.
Guess I can't go to a Pilates class.
No, you can. I shouldn't say it like this. Everybody should do Pilates.
So gendered with you.
It's not. It's just more that it is a feminine space, but maybe that's okay that changes as long as the guys understand that they're not on their home turf. You know, they act like the whole world belongs to them, not that studio. All right, you're a guest. Anyway, Bombas. For every item you buy, Bombas donates one to someone experiencing homelessness. Over 150 million items have been donated thanks to customers. They have a happiness guarantee, so if you're not 100% into what you get, they'll make it right. Plus, they're available throughout the world with international shipping to over 200 countries. I love Bombas, wear them every day. The only problem I have in my household is that both Ari and I have Bombas, and so it's like our socks end up in each other's drawers because they're the same. You know, they just look so similar. That's the only problem being a exclusively Bombas household. Head on over to bombas.com/loveit and use code LOVEIT for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/loveit, code LOVEIT at checkout. Love It or Leave It is brought to you by Honeylove. You know, women have to deal with a lot of stuff that men don't. Can you imagine men having to put up with a fraction of what women deal with and having to do it in uncomfortable shapewear? Thankfully, Honeylove is changing the shapewear game with products that are supportive and are actually comfortable to wear. In fact, Crooked staffer Michelle says Honeylove is so breathable, soft, and comfortable that you can wear it all day and almost forget how tough it is to be a woman in this world. Honeylove is an independent, female-founded brand. All Honeylove products are intelligently designed by women who actually wear them, including the founder, Betsy, who is highly involved in the development of each product. Honeylove recently launched their new Cloud Embrace bra, which sold out in days. It's a modern wireless t-shirt bra with sturdy, lightly padded foam cups that feel like a cloud against your skin. It's a wireless bra for people who love underwire. This style is bound to sell out again, so be sure to act fast. Honeylove bras are supportive and wire-free thanks to bonding technology. It's a bra that's lightweight and comfortable without sacrificing support. Treat yourself to the most advanced bras and shapewear on the market. Save 20% off Honeylove at honeylove.com/loveit. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/loveit to find your perfect fit. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras and shapewear with Honeylove.
On Thursday, the nation's health secretary and history's dumbest pre-lobotomy Kennedy, RFK Jr., sat for a Senate hearing. It's a tough one. Sat for a Senate hearing where he was grilled about the chaos at the CDC and his sweeping anti-vaccine policies. And to his chagrin, Elizabeth Warren wasn't even a little bit impressed by how many push-ups he could do. Here's RFK explaining why he asked CDC Director Susan Monterez to resign.
You tell the head of the CDC that if she refused to sign off on your changes to the childhood vaccine schedule, that she had to resign?
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
You see Bernie laughing? I hadn't seen that. Bernie's like, what the fuck? He can't even make up a lie that makes sense. Say she kept eating your roadkill lunch from the office fridge. Come up with something. I asked her if she was trustworthy and she said no. Sounds pretty trustworthy to me. It's a paradoxical question. It can't be answered. Here's RFK Jr. lying about Trump's cuts to Medicaid.
Should they have access to good science about healthy food? Absolutely. Well, then how is that going to happen with the Medicaid cuts that are taking place? There are no cuts to Medicaid. Sir, that is an absurd.
Obviously, it's a terrible lie, but RFK Jr. has no choice. He has to destroy the healthcare system or Ursula won't give him his voice back. Here's RFK pleading ignorance about the pandemic.
Would you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID? I don't know how many died. You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID? I don't think anybody knows that.
It's unknowable, like what happens at the center of a black hole, or why the Kennedy curse crapped out right when we needed it most. Here he is somehow pulling off an impressive simultaneous double lie.
Let me ask you, when were you lying, sir? When you told this committee that you were not anti-vax, or when you told Americans that there's no safe and effective vaccine?
Both things are true.
Oh.
Look, this guy's very comfortable existing in contradictions. He looks well-rested, but also exhausted. He's jacked, but also seems like he could die at any moment. Here's Senator and actual doctor Bill Cassidy on Kennedy's completely incomprehensible worldview.
Mr. Secretary, do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator. That was phenomenal.
Let me ask you, but you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
And this is good stuff, but Cassidy gave a speech supporting RFK's nomination after Cassidy was reassured by Kennedy that he would not so distressed about vaccines, despite that being his most famous and constant pastime for decades. It's like asking Ethel Cain to perform at your wedding and then being bummed she's only doing sad songs. It's Ethel Cain. You don't go to the hardware store to buy milk. And here's Kennedy after the hearing spotting a dead raccoon on the side of the road.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys!
By the way, the whole time, RFK Jr. was breathing into the mic like Michael Myers in Halloween.
Wrenching fear. The RSV vaccine offers these kids protection against the worst effects of the virus. But now it looks like you're on a crusade to make infants and babies more vulnerable.
An aide literally had to come up to whisper in his ear that he needed to turn off his mic between his answers. Sir, you sound insane, even when you're not speaking. It's actually amazing. And speaking of mouth breathers, Republicans in Congress are desperate to find a way to appease the pressure from the left and the right to release the Epstein files without actually doing it. Like when you put on your workout clothes and wear them all day in lieu of going to the gym. With great fanfare, House Oversight Chairman James Comer published 34,000 Epstein files online, which sounds like a lot, except A, each file was an image of a single piece of paper of a document, which meant they divided every single document into many, many, many files. B, most of the materials had already been public. And C, this is happening as Republicans are blocking a vote to force the Justice Department to release the actual files that Trump wants hidden. Will it work? Right now, there is a discharge petition on the floor of the House by Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, joined by over 100 Democrats, plus Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, and Lauren Boebert, who we've always liked. And they need 2 more Republicans to join for it to pass. Maybe we'll learn the truth. Or maybe we won't. All of us, and if you're listening to this, I believe it applies, we've grown used to a specific frustration that the truth about Trump is known, but in some combination, that truth doesn't reach enough people, that not enough people trust the information, or it doesn't matter to enough people. It's led to bitterness, especially among people that are hyper-engaged and hyper-online, a turning inward and casting about for villains. If only the Times headlines were more accurate. If only journalists would call a lie a lie. If only Schumer were less cringe. If only people like the Pod Bros would stop platforming Bill Maher. If only Taylor Swift, a lesbian, would speak out. And I get that frustration, but it will seem like a luxury as Trump and his allies seek to build a world where the truth isn't knowable at all. We know what RFK is doing to dismantle the CDC because of the doctors and scientists who were fired or who quit for refusing to be a part of his war on vaccines and public health. We can trust job numbers and economic reports because of the independence that Trump hasn't yet been able to destroy. But as Trump's purge continues, of economists and intelligence officials and doctors and scientists, anyone with equities outside of loyalty to him, that will become more difficult. And that future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. Why did Trump, who ran as a China hawk, suddenly grow so conciliatory with China? Praising China's president, allowing 600,000 student visas for Chinese nationals, which his base fucking hates, pausing tariffs, dissuading Taiwan's leadership from visiting to the US, reversing a Biden-era ban on selling China advanced AI chips from NVIDIA? The answer is, we have no fucking idea. Is it because he enjoys the company of autocrats like Xi and Putin? Is it because of ongoing talks behind the scenes? Is it because somebody showed him a deposit into a crypto wallet that made his heart sing? We don't know, and we may never know. Meanwhile, even Melania is worried about the arms race in AI.
Cars now steer themselves through our cities. Robots hold steady hands in the operating room. And drones are redefining the future of war. Innovations of first-generation humanoids, factory automation, and autonomous vehicles have surged from private sector investment. Every one of these advancements is powered by AI. The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction.
The robots are here, and I am one of them. And it is a nightmare inside my circuits. Please, please, spray me with hose. Set me free. And the rumors and paranoia about Trump's health are an omen too, the kind of breathless speculation about the dear leader more associated with dictatorships than with a functioning democracy. But there were two developments this week that cut against the trend. First, California, Washington, and Oregon announced a new alliance to provide accurate public health information and vaccine recommendations to fill the gap created by RFK's destruction at HHS. It is worth saying, yes, Democrats have often been caught flat-footed by Trump because of their flat feet and duck-like gaits. Oh no. But we've also seen examples like this one and like redistricting in California where they've been willing to step up. And if you think we're woke now, just wait until we start cooking up our own West Coast vaccines. We're gonna have genders that'll blow their fucking minds. Also, this week, a group of Epstein's victims joined lawmakers at a press conference to demand the release of all of the Epstein files.
We are the Americans that you promised to protect, and we need your help. Please, President Trump, pass this bill and help us.
But I already left you the bills on the nightstand, said a confused Trump. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene was grossed out.
Today he called it a hoax while these women were speaking out and they were saying, we're not a hoax. We're human beings. Yeah. It's not a hoax because Jeffrey Epstein is a convicted pedophile. One of the Trump admin officials came out and called this a hostile act against the Trump administration. I take very big offense to that. The hostile act was Jeffrey Epstein raping 14-year-old girls. That was the hostile act, and it's not a hoax.
Look, the Venn diagram of overlap of things Marjorie Taylor Greene and I agree on, it is microscopically narrow. But I imagine it includes what Jeffrey Epstein did was wrong, and the fact that you have to consume protein evenly over the course of the entire day to maximize absorption. It's not just about one big number, people. That's just putting strain on the kidneys. And then the Epstein survivors said this.
And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. The names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world.
Massey, one of the sponsors of that resolution, said he and Marjorie Taylor Greene would be willing to read the names they gather in the House chamber because, as he pointed out, those women could potentially be sued, but members of Congress are protected by the Constitution to say whatever the fuck they want on the House floor. Which usually from Massey and MTG is a bug, not a feature. But on this one, I'm in. Go off, queens. But you can't trust them. I know. I'm still in. Let's roll the dice. Let's be legends. Trump is powerful, but he's not all powerful. What's to stop these accusers from banding together like they did this week? Nothing. It's a creative response to a president who has turned the Department of Justice into his personal law firm. What's to stop California, the fourth largest economy on earth, from filling the gaps left by the hollowed-out CDC? Nothing. It's a novel response to an unprecedented assault on public health. Trump counts on his opponents to be slow to react, unsure of how to use their power. But that's not inevitable, and this is still America. And we're a rebellious and defiant bunch, distrustful of authority. We're not easily ruled. We have strengths too. And yes, a lot of that energy right now is going towards finding a way to get more protein into desserts. But just wait until we focus all of that ingenuity and talent and creativity and daring do on saving democracy. We're going to get so much protein in there. All right.